Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Alternate Presidential History Second Place Timeline, Episode 12. And today we are going to be looking, today, the 1832 election, we have President John Adams with his running mate, Vice President Andrew Jackson. Yes, he has chosen Jackson as Vice President again. And he's going up against, I guess you could say, this final boss, I guess you could say, pretty much a trilogy of movies, and it ends up with the final boss who's orchestrated this whole thing, Henry Clay, I guess you could say. Former Vice President Henry Clay, and he has chosen the Secretary of War from the second Clinton administration, the DeWitt-Clinton administration, John Henry Eaton. Hope that's how you pronounce his name. So let's start taking a look at this map. Start filling out some states that are going to be safe. The North. Oh, we forgot to click. Not disable. Fill. The North. That's going to be safe. New York, I don't think will be safe. It's going to be a washout again, I do believe. The Deep South will be safe, I do believe. South Carolina will be safe for Henry Clay. Virginia will be likely. Missouri and Ohio will both be lean. It'll be a washout for Adams again. Tennessee will be safe. Georgia will be safe. North Carolina will be lean. I can see a bunch of South Carolina crossover voters wanting Henry Clay over John Quincy Adams. Virginia will be lean as well. Pennsylvania lean. New York will be likely. I could see Henry Clay try to attempt to get some Southern voters into his column, but I wouldn't see it. I do think he'd narrowly pick off Delaware, just narrowly. He'd flip it. I feel like he'd spent a lot of time in the southern states. Him or Eaton, one of the two. New Jersey would be lean. Maryland would be likely, if not safe. So there you go, another landslide victory for John Quincy Adams, a very popular president. Nobody questioned his re-election. The economy was back where it was before DeWitt-Clinton became president. It's doing pretty well. There's no more worries about jobs or recession. I mean, there's still worries for jobs because of immigrants always coming in. But a lot of people are on the notion that's not the president's fault. Though Henry Clay, I would assume, would say, oh, it's his fault, yada, yada, yada. So let's take a look at what happens in the president's third term. What? Third term? Yep. John Quincy Adams becomes the second president to serve a third term. The first being Aaron Burr. So he runs on this notion. He runs off the economy. He wins soundly. Of course, he doesn't win as many electoral votes as he did any other time, but still. Let's start off. The first few years aren't that noticeable, but in 1833, President Adams signs the Force Bill because, nullifiers in South Carolina, rioting, so he signs the Force Bill, rubs a lot of people in Congress the wrong way when he signs it, but he still signs it. Also, James W. Robinson, the current governor of Texas Territory, warns that Texas will secede from the Union if not annexed properly. President Adams goes, okay, and he sends it down to the House. Riots involving the issues of the Texas annexation and slavery occur in 5 states. So there are a lot of riots going around. Some people want Texas to be annexed into the Union. Some people want Texas to be its own country. A lot of people want slavery to be abolished. A lot of people don't want slavery. And this causes a lot of riots. That day, you could say any day you want. Doesn't really matter. But it's called the day, let's say, the day the sky fell. I don't know. Something clever like that. But in Texas, New York, North Carolina, New Jersey, and Rhode Island, there are riots. That's 5 different states, and it's not. This is where you see President John Quincy Adams' popularity drop. And also, the Office of Indian Affairs is established in 1834 still. 1835, the Texas Statehood Bill is passed in the House overwhelmingly. 165 people approve of it, 75 do not. This is pretty much bipartisan, pretty much. It's the Republicans, the Nullifiers, and the Anti-Masonic Party. We had people from all 3 different parties. We had 4 different parties in the House, and all 3 of those parties said, yeah, vote. And the Democrats said, no. The national debt is roughly around $33,000. Andrew Jackson, if he was president, the national debt would be gone. But, of course, Adams is president, and it's low, but it's not gone. Also, the Second Seminole War breaks out. 1836, the Texas Statehood Bill fails in the Senate. 24 Republicans vote no. 22 Democrats vote, or 24 Democrats vote no. 22 Republicans vote yes, and 1 Republican votes present. Similar to what Tulsi Gabbard did back in 2018, 2019. Several months later, Texas secedes from the Union, which causes tension to rise even further with President John Quincy Adams and Vice President Andrew Jackson. He resigns, whilst Adams appoints Ohio Senator William Henry Harrison as the next VP. Also, Andrew Jackson joins the Democratic Party and throws his hat into the current election. So, I'm going to talk about that in the next episode. Also, the American Temperance Union is still established. So, John Quincy Adams, not popular. Well, he was popular for a long time, and then his popularity kind of faded with the riots and Texas seceding and all that. So, yeah, not good. I'll see you guys in episode 13. This is the Cataclysm saying, peace.